Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be doing the mom tag and answering a few questions as a first-time mom / millennial mom. I am only 28 years old. Sometimes I forget to say I'm 28 because in my mind I still feel like I'm 24, 25, but I am 28 years old and I do have one son. He is 2. He will be 3 in February. I've been having, a good time as a mom, enjoying this journey. So I'm just going to share my experience with you guys. All right, let's go. For the first question I have is, how old was I when I had my first child? So I was 25 years old when I had my first child. I found out I was pregnant when I was 24. It was basically, I think, in early June. And then I had my 25th birthday, June 16th, which that's my birthday. And I was 25 years old. Yes. Okay, for the first question, it says, how old was I when I had my first child? I was 25 years old when I had my son, but I did find out I was pregnant when I was 24, and I had a birthday while I was pregnant. So I had him at 25. What was the hardest thing about being pregnant for 9 months? For me, the hardest thing was getting adjusted to sleeping on my back. I always sleep on my stomach. So when I got pregnant, I was able to sleep on my stomach for about maybe until I was 4 months. I started getting really big and I started feeling him more as time progressed. So I no longer could sleep on my stomach. I had to learn how to sleep on my side and then sleep on my back, which I've grown to become more comfortable in laying on my back. I thought I would go back to sleeping on my stomach full time. Now that I've had my baby and I've already went through the 9 months of pregnancy, now I find myself sleeping on my back, my side, and my stomach. And now I think it's more comfortable for me to sleep on my back, which is kind of weird because I used to sleep on my stomach 24/7 all the time. So my next question that I have here, it says, can you think of any good things you enjoyed during those 9 months? So I enjoyed capturing the moments. When I say that, capturing how big I got each month, because I was able to look back and see how big I got, and then also being able to see the baby grow, experiencing my first kick, hearing his heartbeat, just having another human growing inside of you and seeing how big they get, seeing the 3D ultrasounds and just feeling him kick. That was just so amazing and the best to me. I really enjoyed every moment. I really couldn't see how big I was getting until I actually looked back at my photos, because you get bigger each day, each couple of months, but you don't realize how big you are until you look back and wow, I was so small then, look how big I am now. So it was really beautiful for me to be able to see the transformation and to watch my baby grow inside of me. I really loved that. Next question I have here says, in your opinion, were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? I would say everything that I heard, in my opinion, was accurate, but also I've heard a lot of different stories. When I got pregnant, I initially tried to follow positive birth stories and just keep my mind on positive things. So I did hear a lot of positive stories, but then I did hear some stories where, you don't go in there having a birth you expect. Sometimes your birth may turn into an emergency C-section. Sometimes you may have to go to the hospital where you're planning a home birth. Sometimes you may deliver early. Sometimes you may deliver past your due date. Sometimes you may have to get induced. So I basically was expecting my pregnancy to go either way, knowing that every person is different, every birth is different, every pregnancy is different. So I really didn't have any like set expectations. So in my opinion, I really didn't. I think what I had viewed online and experiences I've gained from my friends and my family, I think it was pretty accurate. Everybody in my circle basically told me, just, think positive, go with the flow, and, you got it. And I basically did just that, and I think it was pretty accurate. I didn't hear anything that was way off. The next question here, it says, would you have handled childbirth differently if you could redo it? I don't think so. I wouldn't do anything different. If anything, honestly, I probably would have wore a different hairstyle. When I was giving birth, if you guys go ahead and watch my birthday video, which I will have linked below here, I ended up just rushing out of bed. I brushed my hair a little bit, but I had like a big ponytail. So it was kind of really uncomfortable while laying back because it was like mashed in the back of my head. So I probably would have made sure I had a more comfortable hairstyle. But I went to the hospital. Everything was smooth. I mean, I was relaxed. My husband was calm. I was calm. I don't think I would do anything different besides making sure I'm more comfortable. I didn't realize how uncomfortable that style was when I was giving birth. I probably wouldn't have ate before. I did eat before I gave birth, but of course I didn't give birth until hours later, but I probably wouldn't have ate before I gave birth. Next question here, it says, what would be your advice for someone who is about to have a baby? So I would say basically just expect, anything to happen. When I say anything to happen, don't have a set expectation that your pregnancy and your birth is going to go a certain way, because you don't know. The baby's gonna come when he or she wants to come. Everybody's pregnancy is different. You may have different symptoms in comparison to other people. So my number one advice would be, don't have a set expectation. Go with the flow. Just make sure you're staying hydrated, drinking lots of water, eating well, eating healthy, and getting lots of rest. Get as much sleep as you can, because once the baby gets here, you're not gonna get any sleep. Sleep, eat, drink water, and just think positive. Just go in there thinking good things, and don't expect too much of yourself. Just go with the flow. You got this. Next question here, it says, what has been the hardest thing about being a mom? So the hardest thing about being a mom for me was learning patience and learning how to balance me time and then time with my child. I say that meaning when my child, when he was a newborn, it was really easy. I didn't have to start learning like how to have more patience until he became mobile and he became a toddler, because toddlers, they're really needy. They want, sometimes they become really whiny. So you can find yourself, getting really impatient, getting frustrated. So that's the number one thing I had to work on, was patience. Some people say I'm already a patient person, but when you have a toddler, you need more than enough patience. It's like you can never have too much patience. So I needed more, I had to, be more patient with my son. I also had to learn and juggle when I say me time, because my child, he is really loving and I'm a loving person too. So like we're constantly together. Like I'm his shadow. Well, he's my shadow and he follows me around the house. He's on me 24/7. We're constantly, playing, interacting with each other. So when he goes down for a nap, I usually would go down for a nap. But then I realized I haven't had any time to myself. Like I haven't been able to watch a show on Netflix. I haven't, been able to do my hair, paint my toenails, I felt like my whole entire day was just dedicated to my son, just playing, cooking, watching cartoons, you know, doing flashcards with him. It's just like him. And then I found myself wanting to stay up even though I was tired, just so I could have some alone time. I found myself just struggling that. But then I'm like, I kind of don't want to stay up because I'm so tired. So I would just go to sleep. And then I would be like, oh, dang, I never had no time to do anything for myself the entire week. Like, I really want to watch a show. And like, my son, like, if the TV's on downstairs, it has to be something on for him. So it's like, I literally will watch cartoons 24/7 all week. And I'm like, I don't want to watch cartoons. I feel like I have no adult time. So I just learned to balance the two. I'll be like, okay, some days I'm going to go sleep while he's sleeping, or some days I'm just going to stay up and enjoy some extra time to myself, because I really need that. Next question here, it says, what has been the most rewarding thing about being a mom? The most rewarding thing for me is seeing my child learn and pick up new things, and just seeing his personality. Because when I was pregnant, I'm like, I wonder how my child is going to be. I wonder how his voice is going to be. I wonder, like, just how he's going to be as a person. And seeing his personality is so rewarding. I'm like, oh my goodness, he is like the sweetest boy ever. I mean, I know he's my son, but it's like, he is well-mannered. He is so loving. Like, his love language is like quality time and physical touch. So it's like, he'll run up to you, give you a hug. He'll say please and thank you. And his personality is so like fun, goofy, bubbly. But then at the same time, he's really observant and quiet. And like, he takes a minute to warm up, which is just like my personality, which I find so interesting and just like so rewarding to see that. He's not the kind of child who would just like go to anybody and just break out his personality the first day he meets you. Like, he has to take a second to check you out, which I think is a good trait to have, because as he gets older, I don't want him to just, you know, accept anybody in and just jump into relationships and friendships without, you know, having a good judgment of the person. So I just find that, you know, really rewarding, seeing his personality and seeing him grow and learn. And he's 2 years old. He's been picking up everything really quickly, new words, trying to read, you know, recognizing letters, numbers, colors. So that's just the most rewarding thing for me as a mom, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, he's like a little person. So cute. My next question here says, what was the most surprising thing you discovered about being a mom? The most surprising. Honestly, I don't really have anything that I was surprised about. I mean, I have a lot of nieces and nephews. My sisters had children, so I was around them when they had their babies, and I babysit them. So I really didn't have anything that was surprising. But I will say, after having my own child, I just always get so amazed, and, you know, I am surprised about how quickly babies pick up things, because babies are really smart. It's surprising to see your child pick up things you didn't literally teach them. Children, they are like a sponge. It's like they absorb everything they see and everything they hear. It's like, even though I haven't intentionally been teaching him words, I will like hear him repeat things that myself and my husband say around the house, and I'm like, did he just say that? I'm like, oh my goodness, like, he's listening. Like, he's copying everything that we say, and like, he picks up, like, even if he hears something like one time, like, he has it the next day. Like that's so cool. Next question here, it says, what is the best memory you have involving your child? Let's see, I have a lot of good memories. My best memory, I think my best memory would be hearing my child say the word dinosaur for the first time because dinosaur is a hard word to say. So he initially used to say dino, like he never said the entire word dinosaur. And then I guess one day my husband had taught him how to say it. Like he broke it down. It was like dinosaur, dinosaur. So one day my husband pointed to a dinosaur that was in a book. And then he was like, tell mommy what that is. What's that? And he said, dinosaur. And I was like, oh, dinosaur. I was like, oh my goodness. So just hearing him saying that big word for the first time is one of my favorite moments, one of my best memories. I have a lot of good memories, but that's probably one of my favorites. Here it says, what was the most exciting milestone? Honestly, it has to be getting my son potty trained. That was a huge milestone. He's 2 years old. My husband and I was able to get him potty trained when he was 2.5. He does have a birthday coming up in February. Next question here is, what is the worst thing your child has ever done? He's only 2 years old. I mean, he hasn't really done anything that's been really bad. He's a good kid. I mean, I had to pick something. He's purposely thrown things on the floor. Like I've poured him up a bowl of cereal and he literally on the floor. And that's what kids do. I mean, he's done it multiple times. I mean, but he hasn't really done anything really bad. He's only 2 years old. My next question is, what habit did you wish your child didn't have? He has picked up this one habit. He's in preschool and he's came home playing with his toys. He has a set of Legos and he's made a toy gun with his Legos. And he'll say, pow, pow, pow. And I'm like, who taught you that? And I'm like, somebody in your classroom has been playing with the Legos making toy guns. And he has a best friend that he plays with at school. And I think his best friend has older brothers. So he clearly plays with his brothers at home because he comes home from school making toy guns with his Legos. I mean, he knows what guns are, but that was just really shocking for me to see. I mean, it's all fun and games. I mean, he has a toy Nerf gun, but it was just really surprising to see him actually make a little gun with the Lego and say pow pow. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, you're picking up some bad habits. I mean, it was surprising. It was surprising. My next question is, what habit of theirs makes you most proud? Again, like I said before, my son, he picks up things really quickly and he always copies what my husband and I say. So we purposely make sure that we're saying our manners to each other around the house, being that he repeats everything we say. So I would have to say him picking up please and thank you. It's become a habit where he says it all the time. He watches this nursery song that comes on YouTube, like, please, thank you, and sorry. So like if he does something like drops something on the floor, or if he sees he messes up or does something wrong, he'll be like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to say sorry about that. It's okay. If Daddy and I are in the kitchen and he hears a thing of pans fall on the floor, he'll run in the kitchen and say, Daddy, are you okay? Mommy, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm okay. And he's like, okay. He's picked up those habits really quickly. Question, it says, do you share any similarities with your child, both physical and personality? So when I first had my child, he was a spitting image of my husband. He still is now. But as my child has gotten older, he does look like me anyway. I feel like he looks like me and my husband, which is a good thing. That's physical. For his personality, I do like how he's picked up the trait of being really observant and waiting to see his environment before engaging full on, which I mentioned before, and that's a personality trait he's gotten from me. I guess I would say shy in the beginning, basically because I'm just observing you, observing my environment. Once I get warmed up and I know who you are, then I'm myself and I'm really relaxed, which is basically how my son is. My next question is, where would you like your child to be in 10 years? So in 10 years, my child will be, oh my gosh, 12 years old. Okay, so he'll be 12 years old. Okay, at 12 years old, what grade will he be in? Middle school. So I probably would want him to be in an activity that he wants to do. I would like for him to have like picked up the sport, picked up a favorite subject, and basically just know what he likes at that age. So at that age, you know, my husband and I can just start grooming what he likes to do, so then we can see what he'll do later on as he gets older. So hopefully at that age he has a favorite subject and he's in a favorite sport or activity. But no pressure. I don't really have any other set expectations for him at that age. What is something that having a child has taught you? Having a child has taught me how to enjoy the moment. Children grow so fast. Like, after having a child, time just goes by like this. I look up and I'm like, wow, you're about to be 3 years old. Like, wow, 2 years has passed. And it seems like I just had him yesterday. So after having a child, it really makes me just enjoy the moment, knowing that this moment will not always be here and that he's not always going to be a baby always. To just cuddle him, hold him as much as I can now, enjoy him being young, just enjoying the moment and just taking each day, day by day, and don't just be so in a rush for what's to come. Because before you know it, he's gonna be 12 years old. Oh my goodness. My next question I have here. Did you imagine that you'd be a mom at the age that you became a mom? So I would say yes. I wanted first to be married at a young age. And then I know I didn't want to wait so long to have children. So I did expect myself to have children around my 20s, and I did end up having my son at 25. Describe your child in a single sentence. I would say my son is very loving, joyful, and observant. That would be a perfect sum to describe my child. So here it says, how have you changed as a person since becoming a mom? So since becoming a mom, I have become more patient, just more gentle in my approach, and just, you know, more loving and more caring and more understanding. I've just lately just been looking at the world and looking at myself through my son's eyes and just trying to be the best mom that I can be, because I want to give my son the best and everything that I can. So I've just learned to take my time, be patient, be gentle, be loving, and just try to just give him what he needs in the moment that's best for him. Because sometimes he could need something totally different. Just whatever he needs in that moment. If he needs me to just give him a hug, to hold him, to give him his favorite snack, his blanket. Because I found that at the end of the day, you have to pick your battles. Some things aren't worth the fight, especially when he's only 2 years old. If he's crying for a snack, if it's not gonna hurt you, if he's eating his fruit and vegetables, go ahead and give him a snack. Like last night, I gave him about 4 or 5 cookies. He ate all of them and wanted some more cookies. I'm like, he rarely eats sweets. He eats his fruits and vegetables. I'm like, hey, another cookie is not gonna hurt. You want another cookie? I want you happy. You're gonna get another cookie. And it's just like, just learning to pick your battles and just taking each day by day, hour by hour, and just giving him what he needs at that moment, and just trying to be the best mom I can be. That was the last question. I hope you guys enjoyed these questions. I got to know me more as a mom. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.